Oh, isn't that beautiful, the light? Look at it. You know, I used to sell flowers. I had little flower carts on the street.
Where'd you sell them?
In front of the A&P at Royal and St. Peter in the quarter, in front of D.H. Holmes on Canal Street. And I had a little place on Decatur Street where I fixed them all together and made little bouquets. They don't last more than about a week. But you see, they make people happy. And I think it's because flowers are only for you today and next week. They're not going to be here next year for the same people, right? Because these will be gone and those will be gone, but we'll have fresh ones. It's like food.
Joanne was a cat in a previous life, and she has all these different lives now in her human life. And she was, you know, owned a bar, started flower carts and did legal stuff, political stuff with that, owned dress shops, she costume designer. And so as a result, she knows all these interesting people that are very successful as well in the city. And you get to meet these people and you get to know of these people and what their interests are and what they're interested in, and you get to learn from them as well. So it's not just the food, it's all of these other learning things, because food, you know, it's not something that stands alone. It's you know, it has to do with every facet of life, you know, everything that we do every day.
Fried green tomatoes have been in our life now at Upperline since 1992. When I heard that they were going to make a movie about fried green tomatoes. And I said to myself, oh goodness, we're going to have fried green tomatoes on the menu. But I didn't want it to be just a clone of the past. I wanted it to be something different and special, because I grew up with fried green tomatoes. In Louisiana, the growing season is so intense and lush that you get too many tomatoes on the vine. The vines break, the little branches just break with the weight of the tomatoes. So all summer long, my grandma or my mama was culling the tomatoes while they were green to make sure that when they all ripened, the branch didn't break. And mostly, though, when I was growing up, the fried green tomatoes were on the side as a side dish, like with pork chops. And in my mama's and my grandma's house, we always had pepper vinegar on the side. And you put a little pepper vinegar on your fried green tomato. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do something more interesting. And so we brainstormed around the restaurant. The Chef Tom Cowman, Ken Smith was here as an apprentice, the waiters, the customers, fried green tomatoes with what? With what? And the third day I woke up, I must have dreamed it, because the first thing that came in my brain that morning was, we'll put our shrimp remoulade on top of the fried green tomatoes. And it worked. It was fabulous. Chef Tom got excited about it because he had had fried green tomatoes in his life as a young man also.
You wanted them to be fried just right, where they're not greasy, they're not gooey, they're not hard, but they're great. And they could hold up to the shrimp as well as the intense New Orleans remoulade sauce. And you still could know that when you're taking a bite that you're eating a shrimp and that you're also eating this green tomato.
It was very interesting in Alexandria. I didn't know the restaurant scene there very much at all, but I kept running into people who were from New Orleans. They knew that I was connected with a restaurant in New Orleans. And some people invited me to dinner at this very fancy restaurant that was sort of on the Air Force Base. And it was amazing because it reminded me so much of home. It reminded me of New Orleans. They had red fish and crab meat and gumbo and some oysters. So it was so beautiful because it did bring me back. And in a way, I think food has that capacity to bring back the past and make you feel normal again. And that's what it did that night, because it wasn't just trying to find something at the grocery store. It was bringing me back to New Orleans by eating in that restaurant. And we agreed to drive down together the first Saturday that they said business owners could come back. And we came into the city from across the river and across the big bridge. And we only saw 3 cars between the downtown New Orleans and Upperline Street. It was so eerie and strange.
But then we got here, and it was so goosebumpy that everything was okay. It looked like the doors hadn't been banged down, and the building, the roof was here. And so I went in first, and it brought tears to my eyes because it was all here. It wasn't beautiful because the food had all spoiled and it was so hot and there's so much surrounding sadness, but it was so wonderful to know that we could reopen in a few weeks, I hoped, and we did.